Heartbreaking, but definitely revealing. We hope that the issues raised will be addressed as soon as possible. When Channels Beam returns, we will be joined by an OAP from Beat FM, Dami Elebe. Please stay with us.
I am intelligent.
I'm incisive.
I am passionate.
I am focused.
I am diplomatic.
I'm creative.
I am people-oriented.
I am logical.
I am detailed.
I am determined.
I am inquisitive.
I am trendy.
Welcome back. You're still watching Channels Beam. I'm now joined by an OAP from Beat FM who seems very, very passionate about the topic we have been discussing. Dami Elebe is here with us. Dami, thanks for coming on the program.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. What are we securing? There's been so much money for security votes. The budget passed and even the present budget.
True.
But then, these killings keep on happening.
Very true.
How did we get to this place?
I personally have no idea. I feel like there's been a lackadaisical attitude towards trying to fight this epidemic called Boko Haram. I don't understand how we let it slide for so long. We've been fighting this and fighting this and fighting this. We have a couple of states under the state of emergency rule, but then it still seems like Boko Haram is even overpowering the military that's supposed to be overpowering them in the state of emergency declaration or declared states of emergency. So I don't know how, I honestly don't even know how this is going to be stopped, because it feels like we're using all the resources we have, but then nothing is happening. Like, it keeps getting worse, and they say it's not getting worse, but then it keeps getting worse.
I mean, did you see the clip by the Borno State Governor where he said
that,
I think, and then he was rebuked by the presidency.
Yes, where he said we're not going to be able to end the Boko Haram epidemic, and he also stated that the military was not as equipped as
motivated
exactly as Boko Haram, which saddens me personally, because the military is supposed to be more equipped and they're supposed to be more, driven to end the epidemic. That is what serving your country is all about. You're supposed to know, it's just not about the machines you have, it's also about your heart and knowing that I have been brought here to protect this people of the great nation. But then if they're not even motivated to do that, whether they have the ammunitions or the weapons to do so is not going to matter, because a man can have a gun, but then he needs that extra motivation to actually go there, point it at somebody and shoot.
Just moving forward, there has been a change of tactic in the way they operate.
Yeah.
This time around, they took 20 young girls.
True.
The fate of those girls,
we
don't know.
Basically. And I feel like this is something, I've said this and I always say all the time, if we cannot show our neighbors how much we love them, it's hard for us to preserve or understand the serious importance of life. There are 20 girls missing. I apologize and my sympathy goes out to the people who have lost their lives, but I feel like the 20 girls missing should be top priority because they're still known to be alive. We don't know if they're dead or not. So without them being used for God knows what, I feel like they should be striving to make sure that we get those 20 girls back to their families, back to people that love them. But then it's like nobody even wants to talk about it. Ukraine on Twitter is trending.
Yeah.
The Borno massacre is not even close to where Ukraine is. Who lives? I don't live in Ukraine. I live in Nigeria. If anything, if Nigeria becomes completely doomed, I'm not going to move to Ukraine. So I feel like we ourselves, we the citizens, are not even bothered so much about what's going on in Borno, because after all, my family doesn't live there. My auntie doesn't live there. I don't have any relatives there. But then, I think the sad thing is we don't see that we're all Nigerians, and whether it's in Borno State or it's in Lagos, we're all affected by this. We don't have to wait for it to get here before all of us take up something and say, you know what, it's a severe epidemic that's just eating us from the inside. Just
quickly, and of course, in wrapping up this conversation, I mean, people are saying, the president got this appointments, appointments thereabouts, grand patron of about 3 clubs, the History Society of Nigeria, Nigerian Football Club, and then another group. People are saying he shouldn't be doing that.
Yes.
But I think he's just trying to pick positives within the negative. What's your thought on that?
The truth is, there gets to a point whereby you realize that no matter how much positive you pick up, the negative is outweighing the positives. There's so many people dying. I do not mind President Jonathan being named Grand Patron of anything at all. That's not the issue. But the issue is, in the midst of these people dying, you cannot come on television and always just keep smiling and taking this. It feels a little not empathetic towards the situation going on. I feel like a more grand approach of coming out to make statements to assure the Nigerian people that you are in safe hands. If we don't have things like that, words help. You look at other presidents, when they say stuff, it helps. It calms people down. If we now see that things aren't going on, we realize, you know what, your words aren't enough. But for now, come out, be strong, and actually give the Nigerian people something more positive to look forward with your words. Make sure you let them know that you're on top of this. Tell us strategies at which you're going to nip this in the, in the bud. And so that we know what's going on, we cannot just see positives of being Grand Patron and forget the Borno massacres, because that's what people are focusing on now. That, oh, he's Grand Patron of this instead of this. We just really need to focus on what is killing us, so we all end up staying alive at the end of the day. So our children can be here in Nigeria and be comfortable to live here, rather than Boko Haram just, overshadowing the citizens itself. So I think there's so many things, he needs to do aside from just coming out and smiling and being positive. He also needs to show us that he's strong enough to take control of what's going on, so we don't look like Boko Haram is actually taking control of us.
Dami, thank you for coming on the program and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you very much again for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's where we are. We'll take a quick break, of course. When we return, look at your messages, as well as review the 5 most viewed videos on our YouTube channel for the past week. Join us right after this. Welcome back at the social media powered program. We will read through some selected comments from our social media platforms, but let me remind you that you can find both conversations on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/channelsweb, and our website, channelstv.com.
President Goodluck Jonathan tried his hands on a talking drum, also called gong, to the amusement of all those present at a traditional ruler's palace where he was a guest. The 4th most viewed video shows the House of Representatives in a rowdy session over Sanusi Lamido's suspension.
Provided that the removal of the governor shall be supported by 2/3 majority of the Senate. Mr. Speaker! Mr. Speaker! No.
to do politics with such an important process, we do not end up undermining both the individual and the issues which he has raised, as well as the institution that he represents. I am inviting you, Mr. Speaker, to use the wisdom which you have always used to direct the House on this issue.
There were issues of financial recklessness and unprofessional conduct.
At number 3, the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ruben Abati, assures Nigerians that the controversial suspension of the CBN governor was
If I may
not
just draw
political.
attention to a few of them. The persistent refusal and negligence to comply with the Public Procurement Act in the procurement practices of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
The central bank is an independent institution.
At second position is Channel Television's exclusive interview with the recently suspended CBN governor, Sanusi Lamido, clearing the air on alleged financial
Or
recklessness.
is there evidence that those contracts were inflated, or that we gave the contracts to ourselves? I mean, what exactly is reckless about contributing to education?
Jesus! At number 1, the death sentence pronounced on Akolade Arowolo, who killed his banker wife on his birthday, caused him to weep in tongues.
Jesus set me free. I cannot be bound. I cannot end in prison. It's not possible.
Those were just a select few of your comments on the videos you watched the most in the past week. Analysts have made their analysis, the military have embarked on the coordinated search operation, and while the Boko Haram hierarchy continues to make threats and continuous attacks, journalists will continue to report their heinous crimes against the Federal Republic of Nigeria. However, it remains that these girls still are in the custody of the Islamist sect. Inasmuch as I sympathize with the families of the abducted girls and those killed during the pogrom, I also hope that more effort will be put in place to first free the girls, hopefully in the same condition that they were abducted, and most importantly, rid the nation of the Boko Haram group. I am Victor Matthias. I hope you join me in this prayer. Till I see you next week, follow the social media addresses on your screen to keep the conversation going online.